And we are alive.
Let's go.
Yeah! Fashionably late. Sorry for the holdup. But you know what? We got a big show in front of you because day one of the NFL draft is in the books. A whole bunch of chaos has ensued. So, of course, this is the perfect time to do a Superflex mock draft on Underdog. The best platform to do mock drafts, the best platform to get ready for your redraft drafts. If you're not already on Underdog, make sure you download the app. Use promo code DIMES, get 100% deposit match bonus. This is how you dominate your home leagues. This is the sharpest ADP in the game. So when you constantly practice these mock drafts,
you're going to stop staring at yourself.
I look too cute.
Why are you so vain?
I know.
So vain like that.
Yeah, grow up.
Is that the right word, vain?
You're so vain.
I know it's a song, so I'm just kind of ripping
so
that.
Vain. I'm not really sure
You're
what that
so
means.
vain.
Is that like conceited? Yeah, it might be.
I think so. That's what I was going for. I don't really know.
I'm excited to see how the redraft ADP shakes out with this. Yeah. You know, like
oh yeah,
the draft was I'm still watching last. Yeah, we probably should have put some time between the two videos, but whatever. We got to stream. We got to get the mock drafts. We got as much fucking content as possibly out there. Yeah, dude, a lot of shenanigans happening last time. I do think it would have probably been a pretty fucking boring if Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't go 12 and the Lions take like a defensive player or some shit. Kind of a boring draft.
Although the 4 wide receivers going back to back to back to back was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that was like that's like prime spot for wide receivers. Like it was just a matter of time before they started going. I was surprised
we
four
didn't
went
expect
in a
4
row.
to go though.
Yeah, dude, I was yeah, I would have lost a lot of money if I put money on under 3.5 wide receivers.
It seemed like such a crazy line at the time.
It did, and then we're getting to pick 20, and I'm like, no wide receivers are gone. I can't wait to go back to the TikTok comments and be shitting on people about how they were shitting on me for going under on it, but just kept my mouth shut.
It's wild.
This industry will humble you quick.
All right, so I'm about to drop the link to join the Underdog draft in our Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, link is down below. Make sure you go join that. So,
drop it.
People are clamoring in the Discord right now.
Drop the link. Join our Discord. This is where we drop. Oh, no, did you do it?
Did I do it?
It disappeared.
Why did it disappear?
You dropped it and then it immediately disappeared.
Why did it do that?
It's for the Illuminati.
There you go.
Why did it disappear again?
Do you not have access to?
Oh, I don't. You guys didn't give me access to drop links.
Hold on.
Send me the link via text, and I'll drop it.
Wow, I don't even feel like the part of the group
because you don't go on Discord. Look how many Discord notifications you have. You have literally 450 Discord notifications.
I'm just a popular cat on Discord. All right, I can't get around to it.
You have like 6 DMs open. Every single Discord.
I don't even know how to use Discord. All right, don't get on me for it.
Boom, this is beautiful. I got it in the draft. All right, we need 10. Pace. Skirt.
No, it's funny. I was on anytime I hop in the Discord once in a blue moon, everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're in the Discord. It's crazy."
No one says that, just Kelsey.
Yeah, that literally everyone.
Maybe you should Maybe you should hang out more often in the fucking Discord.
It's fun whenever I do hang out. I just don't hang out often.
Trying to convince me or yourself?
I'm trying to convince myself.
Okay,
definitely. All right, we got 10. Need 2 more. It feels like so much has happened to shake up the NFL. I mean, one thing that we didn't really get around to addressing that I want to is the Aaron Rodgers trade. It finally happened. We all kind of knew it was coming. It slowed down for a little bit, but it happened. So what do we think about Aaron Rodgers in terms of redraft? Obviously, in a super flex, you need 2 quarterbacks. He finished last year as like the QB 13. Do you like him to finish as a quarterback 1? Would you feel comfortable with him as your quarterback 1?
First
of all, hold on before we go there. Is this even that much of an upgrade?
For him?
Oh
yeah, I think.
Oh, for Rodgers, 100%.
100%.
I don't know, dude. Like,
getting
their weapons group really isn't that good.
That's what I was thinking.
They're like not that deep. They don't have a lot of good weapons outside of Garrett Wilson.
Wilson, you would put over Christian Watson. But then when we look
like
past
statistically, what Watson did last year, also though, like in his 8 games, Watson was awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like obviously, I take Wilson over Watson straight up. Also, I think the draft's about to start. So put it on the board.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Watson will not outproduce Wilson this year, but in what they did together last year, I can't imagine that he's gonna like put together a 10 touchdown pace in 8 games like he did last year. So I don't know. I look at like Elijah Moore, very projection based player right now. Corey Davis, like a third guy.
Elijah Moore's not even on the team.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. He left, but yeah, exactly. I don't know, dude. I think Rodgers is going to be good. Like excited to have him in New York, you know, as a secondary Jets fan, excited about it. I'm not overly excited about it as a fantasy guy though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I actually don't know if statistically it's going to be much different for him. Yeah, I don't know if this actually makes him like sneak up into the top 12 quarterbacks.
I'm looking at the quarterbacks right now. Aaron Rodgers is QB 14, right behind Kirk Cousins. Then Daniel Jones at QB 12, Tua at 11. I don't see any way Rodgers goes ahead of Tua, but I could definitely see him passing Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones, being QB 12.
That makes sense. I think that's like around where I would go, but that feels like the pocket of a tier of quarterback where I just kind of want the last guy in that tier.
Yeah.
So obviously the biggest winner out of that, though, is Garrett Wilson. He's the alpha with the Jets. He's obviously going to have the best quarterback play that he's ever had. I mean, that's going from 0 to 100 for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting. I think he's going to take that next leap up into like the elite tier. I think he's got like a good chance of this time next year. We're looking at him as, you know, Stephon Diggs or something like that.
Would you already put him in that tier with Stephon Diggs, though?
No, I mean, maybe you might like put him in the tier, but there's no chance. I'm not going to draft him as if he's already going to produce like those guys. Like, you know, if you're drafting Diggs, if you're drafting Chase, if you're drafting Tyreek Hill, like, you know, you're getting 1,400 yards, 15. Like, you don't know that from Wilson yet, but it's like a strong projection.
Okay. I like it. Definitely wanted to touch on that. But as we start this Superflex mock draft, first 8 picks, all quarterbacks.
Let me ask you this. Now that like Baltimore turned out, you know, the video I put out today, I was kind of talking about how a lot of teams offensively can get better really quickly, right? With a couple pieces, you know, Chicago, we just saw do it. Justin Fields had like the worst group ever. Now their offensive line doesn't look that bad. Now they got DJ Moore and Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet. And it's like, you know, not a bad team. And I think we're going to see that with a lot of teams. And we just saw it with Baltimore. They went from like the worst pass catching group in the world. Now it's Rashad Bateman, OBJ, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. Like, does Lamar Jackson get back into that top tier of guys? I think he's been like clearly isolated outside of that, like top 5 or 6 QBs. And now that they have these weapons around him, does he sneak? Like, is there a world where we're going Lamar Jackson over Justin Herbert? Lamar Jackson back in that Justin Fields spot?
I think he should be. I think he should be the QB 5 right now. I just took him at QB 7. I don't know why he was still there at the 7 slot. I immediately took that pick.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like he's comfortably in the 7 spot there, and that's like where he's kind of ended up. But do you think like it's too early now, but by the summer, people are going to be like Lamar Jackson, QB3. Like, do you see a path where that shit starts happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
QB3 is probably a bit too high. I think going Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Burrow, the clear top 4. But I think Lamar is the number 1 of the next tier.
Is that where you would put the tier break in between Burrow and Fields?
I think so, yeah.
Because I was sitting there kind of going back on Fields and Burrow, and I think I only took Burrow because I believe I took Fields last draft. So I'm, you know, diversifying the revenue, as the kids would say. But I think Fields you could put up there.
Fields, we don't know yet is the thing. Like with these other guys, we do know. It's the same thing with like the Garrett Wilson versus any of those top wide receivers. Like, we don't know if Garrett Wilson's going to be the guy. It's the same thing with Fields. He's projected to be, and he's going to have that rushing upside, but we still don't know for sure if he's going to like take that next step as a passer.
I feel better about the weapons added to Fields than any potential weapons being added for Lamar.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I just think they both got really nice boosts. I'm just looking at them. I feel a lot better about both of them following the last, you know, week or two of additions to the team, whether it was O-line, whether it was weapons. Lamar getting the contract. Now he's, you know, kind of happy again. All right. Now things are getting spicy.
Is it just me, or I might just be way high on Trevor Lawrence, but I would put him like, I think I'd put him right behind Burrow. I think I'd rather have Lawrence over Justin Herbert, over Lamar, and in some cases over Fields.
I think he should be over Fields in general.
Maybe I'm misremembering his year and I'm just like picturing it better than it really was, but
he had some games. He had some very good games. Especially in redraft, it's a little different. In Dynasty, you got like all those top 8 guys going immediately. Same thing in these underdog Superflex drafts. But in redraft leagues where it's not an underdog, I don't know how much of a difference you're going to see between these top 8 quarterbacks.
Nah, I think that's almost the conclusion I'm coming to, is that like first tier, there's a tier of the 8 quarterbacks, and it's just like I want one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know, I want at least one of those guys. Then after that, gets a little bit shaky. You got
But,
guys
like, do
like
you
Aaron
think-
Rodgers.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up real quick. I was staring down the barrel of between him, Daniel Jones, and Kirk Cousins. So if you had to fuck, marry, kill those 3, how would you do that?
Daniel Jones should not be anywhere near that group.
I'm gonna kill Daniel Jones as
100%.
well. I think of what those 3 quarterbacks are, Daniel Jones's year last year was the least repeatable. You know, like I feel like he'll be fine, but I don't want to bank on him running for 700 yards again. I don't want to bank on him going from like one of the most interception heavy quarterbacks in the NFL to being like a super efficient passer all of a sudden now. So Daniel Jones getting killed off. Kirk and Rodgers kind of feel like the same player. I don't know what like Minnesota's if Dalvin Cook's gone, you got to think they go super pass heavy.
Yeah.
Addison, Hawkinson, Jefferson.
Low-key, Cousins and Rodgers have put up similar stats like every year, it feels like. Like I feel like every single year we see the same stat. Like Rodgers is going for MVP, but Kirk Cousins has the same stats as him. And it's like, why are these two viewed so differently? And in fantasy, it should be the same, especially they add Jordan Addison now too. It's another weapon for Kirk.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I for some reason Rodgers feels more safe. I think just because the Vikings. Would it be surprising if they like just started tearing things down a little bit?
I don't think they'll do it yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think as long as
They're
Kirk is
like-
under center, they're not trying to rebuild or tear things down at all.
Well, I think they're tearing it down would start with Kirk Cousins.
Right, but
essentially.
like, what did
No.
they do? They haven't done anything that like points towards that.
I don't know. I guess it just seems like a dysfunctional franchise to me.
I guess. All right, let's get off the QB talk because we've had some interesting picks.
So
Bijan now QB or running back 3.
running back 3, Bijan.
I guess that's probably where he was going before. I don't think it's Bijan really hasn't moved. I don't think his value.
Really? I would say he's definitely, at least for me.
I think Atlanta was a peak landing spot.
Yeah, exactly. Not that there was really any bad landing spot for Bijan. Like he was obviously gonna just take the reins wherever he went, but I don't know. This is just like clear workhorse load, very run heavy offense, great O-line, a quarterback that needs to rely on a run game.
Let's go, Kirky. Yeah, dude. Atlanta's like it. Of the other places that he could have landed, like Detroit could have taken him. That would have been messy. Like Philly, maybe messy, maybe not. Bijan RB1. Honestly, dude, like how early is too early to take Bijan? Let's say like quarterbacks out of the situation, skill players.
I wouldn't take him over McCaffrey.
I wouldn't either. But after that, I think you can make the argument he's 2.
I agree.
How
Right.
much does the Anthony Richardson pick help Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, I guess that kind of depends on when Richardson gets onto the field. Like he might not get onto the field that quickly. I like it though for the offense overall. I'm a fan of like the upside it gives Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, just kind of taking away the pressure from the linebackers and stuff. You can't stack the box anymore now that Richardson's under center.
Yeah.
The same way Hurts opened up the rushing lanes even more for like Miles Sanders and that. Anthony Richardson's gonna do the same for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Eckler, I would like normally want to put over him, but just the fact that Eckler doesn't want like the workload himself is so sketchy.
Okay, so how are you ranking those running backs? C-Mac, Taylor, Bijan.
CMC 1. Yeah, I guess Bijan is 2.
You know what I mean? Like there are not like that many strong options behind them that you feel comfortable that will be like a workhorse.
Yeah, I mean he's in that tier. I wouldn't like disagree with someone taking Saquon over Bijan. I wouldn't disagree with someone taking Eckler or Taylor over him. I don't. Kenneth Walker.
I think yeah, I wouldn't take Kenneth Walker. I don't really.
That's
like,
where it gets kind of
the
sketchy.
pass catching upside. Well, Arthur Smith like found his Derrick Henry. I think that's the thing. Like it's very clear they have him for the next 5 years. They're going to run him until he's basically a dead person. And I wouldn't like you think about Saquon's rookie year. That team was not good. They were like 5-11, and he went for 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Like if you think the Falcons are a bad team, that Bijan can still perform like Saquon did. You know what I mean? He needs to get a lot of targets, which I don't know. I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off Desmond Ridder, but I think it was like the elite landing spot.
I mean, the
Josh said,
Falcons are setting up.
with a Colts starting quarterback other than A-Rich. Well, they got Minshew and Nick Foles. So I think it could be
Minshew starting.
yeah, I mean, it'll be like a battle. I just feel like the Colts there's no pressure on the Colts to force Richardson out there. You know what I mean? Like there's no
They just start with a new regime.
long contract for them. Like A-Rich is 20 fucking years old right now. If they don't feel like he's ready, not ready.
That was I just want to mention this, a wild tweet from Jim Irsay, kind of just baiting the fans, being like, who wants Will Levis in the second round? Like, how dysfunctional of a pick would that be?
Why is he doing that? Like, what do you think?
Owners need to stay off Twitter. Owners need to do nothing but just write checks.
But do you think that I feel like if I had that much power, I would be just sending out dumb shit like that too.
You'd be a troll. You'd be
100%
one of the most powerful troll.
A GM troll. Like my power would have no limits.
It would go straight to your head.
Oh my God, it'd be so fun. Like Will Levis, what about Tanner McKee?
Oh my God.
You know what I would do if I was him? I'd put out a poll and be like, whoever you guys vote for is who I'm going to draft.
And then just totally ignore the poll afterwards.
And then let Twitter fucking run wild. Oh, fuck, I'm on the clock. You guys are fucking.
Now you're on the
Yeah,
clock.
now you're on the clock. Don't worry.
You're good. You're good.
I already got I feel good about having 2 quarterbacks now.
Me too.
Go.
Yeah, I went.
I'm not forced to take a receiver. Man, is Josh Jacobs in the 4th round? I feel like we're going to look back on this and be like, this is insane value for him dropping down here. Like, I wasn't super high on him last year whatsoever. Now, I think the argument was like they're going to run him into the ground contract year. It's like they just got him for one more contract year. If you think they used him a lot last year, what are they going to give him this year? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too high on him. Like I would be fine taking him, but like I just feel like that was an outlier year for Jacobs.
I mean, of course, but like even if he gives you like 1,300 yards, which is way less than last year, a 4th round pick.
I could be remembering this wrong, but I feel like Jacobs was also another guy who came out and was like, I don't want the same workload that I just got unless you're giving me like a long-term deal or something.
He probably
Which he didn't.
He might have said that because he probably realized his time in the NFL is running out.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're 25, 26 and you haven't got that second contract, you're probably worried about the way teams view you. So I could see that, but also like the Raiders might just be like, I don't care. Who else do they have? Zamir White's redundant with him. So
Maybe day 2.
Maybe day 2, I guess, but I couldn't see the Raiders going day 2. They have so many holes. I can see day 3. I feel like day 2 is kind of unrealistic though.
Yeah, I probably just because there aren't a whole bunch of running backs that you would think are worth that pick.
But it's like Jacobs or Najee Harris.
Definitely Jacobs.
Jacobs for sure.
Right? I don't even think it's close.
I think that
I'm not
close,
a fan
but
of
they're
Najee
the 2
Harris at
back
all.
to back.
Hold on, I got to make this pick, but I think that wraparound was really interesting. Starting with Stevenson and just ending there with
Yeah, I will say, like, of the guys in this tier, you got ETN, Najee, Ramondre. I would take Jacobs over all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Jacobs too. I like my pick with ETN though. I think ETN is the second best running back in that group. I know Damian Harris isn't there in New England anymore to kind of vulture some points from Ramondre, but I just feel like knowing New England, they're going to get somebody else into just taking Damian Harris's spot, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm a little bit nervous about it because it wasn't like Ramondre wasn't the guy last year until Damian Harris went down and got hurt, you know, and then they gave it to him. And he earned the fact that he should be the guy there, but who knows what the way they're fucking thinking over there. I don't think they want Mac Jones to throw the ball 600 times. So you have to think they have another running back kind of like in mind that they'll use with Ramondre Stevenson.
I don't even think they want Mac Jones throwing the ball 6 times.
That's fair too.
All right, so it happened. Jameer Gibbs.
That was me that took him.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
I was like, let's roast the idiot who took Jameer Gibbs.
You think that was a bad move?
It's probably not because DeAndre Swift probably gets moved. But like,
I wouldn't take him over Aaron Jones. I don't think.
As of today, I'm not drafting Jameer Gibbs. Not without a promise. I need a guarantee that DeAndre Swift isn't on the Lions because who knows? Maybe I'm not putting it past the Lions that they like keep Swift. Maybe they don't get the price that they want, and they're just like, fuck it. 3-headed monster, we'll roll with it. In which case, none of those guys are relevant. But
that becomes super problematic.
Except the Lions use top 12 draft capital in this guy. We have to realize that. And I don't think they clearly don't like DeAndre Swift at all. And like I tweeted this out earlier today. It was like every running back drafted since 2011 with top 12 draft capital, has had at least 19 touches.
I thought you were
game.
literally just saying. I thought you were saying what I tweeted and just saying
You tweeted after mine.
I didn't even see your tweet, but I also they were different tweets anyways. I just the way you started saying it, I was like, are you just reading my tweet right now?
I thought that's what he did, but it turns out you're ripping his tweets.
Yeah, I thought you ripped my tweet, but it was every running back.
Weren't they different tweets?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Every running back drafted since 2011 who's had top 12 draft capital has had at least 19 touches per game or 5 receptions per game as a rookie. So Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get on the field immediately with that draft capital for sure. DeAndre Swift, I don't even care about him. David Montgomery might take some goal line touches. I could see that. But I just think
Gibbs Montgomery might take some goal line touches from Gibbs?
Maybe.
He's going to take all of them.
We don't know that. Why would they use top 12 draft capital on a guy if they're not going to use him 70% of the time?
Because they've showed us that they just want to use a fat fucking running back on the goal line. Like, why? You think they're going to look
when it was DeAndre Swift was the other option.
Jamal Williams. DeAndre Swift's 215 pounds. Jamal Williams, 220 pounds. Yeah. You think... I think you're going to overthink that. I think if you like Gibbs as a pass catcher and you think he's going to be on the field and catch 80 passes, make that argument, but don't be like Gibbs is probably the goal line back there at 199 pounds when they just signed Montgomery.
I wouldn't say he's probably not going to be the goal line back, but I think he's going to get some goal line touches, kind of the same way Kamara does.
I'd agree with that. He'll get some, but like I think Swift even factored in the goal line last year a little bit too. Like I could see Gibbs getting some, but he's not going to be the goal line back.
Yeah,
I think either way though, even saying that Swift is off of the Lions, I still wouldn't take Gibbs over Pierce Jones and maybe not even Sanders.
Really? Oh, motherfucker. Was that you who took
Watson? No. I don't know who that is.
I wanted him bad.
Would you go Sanders? Sanders, I feel like I could see getting like a lot of work in Carolina. Unless I'm forgetting someone that they brought in, right?
It's him and Chuba.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so Sanders is coming off his breakout year, but I also feel as if everything went right for Sanders last year to have his year. Guess how many receiving yards do you think Sanders had?
Probably like 150.
You have a guess?
Sorry, I'm distracted. What was the question?
Guess how many receiving yards Miles Sanders had last year?
Oh, dude, I'm terrible with these stats. Receiving yards, what do you say, 150?
Yeah.
I'll go over.
78.
Oh, damn.
70. The only running back in the top 36 that had fewer receiving yards, Jamal Williams, by 5 yards, and he had 10 fewer targets. Like, it's hard to emphasize how bad Sanders has been in the passing game the last few years. So it's like, you go over to Carolina, he's going to have a lot fewer scoring opportunities, like a lot fewer like goal line carries than they did in Philly. I'm a little bit nervous about Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I could see that. Except like we have seen Sanders do well in the passing game. So is it the fact that he's bad in it, or is it just they're scheming him out of it because they want to use multiple running backs in Philly? And I think Sanders can be more involved in the passing game, probably not to the degree he was as a rookie or a sophomore, but like there's no way he's going to only have like 150 receiving yards this next season. I think it's going to go significantly up from that.
No, I mean, he could double his left from last year. Yeah. He's at 150.
Yeah. He's going to quadruple.
150 is terrible. I think Sanders is probably like an RB2. I think he's like like RB18, RB20 fucking one or something like that. And I just like I don't want to shoot for potential upside that's probably not there.
Yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah. All right. Real quickly. If you had the power to decide where DeAndre Swift gets shipped to, pick a place.
KC for sure.
KC.
He's going to be one. Yeah. I feel like you just give up like a 4th or 5th round pick, bring him over to your fucking team. And like, imagine Swift had gone where Clyde Edwards-Helaire went, right? The same draft class, first round pick. People would be going crazy for Swift right now in KC. Yeah. I think he'll be a beast.
KC, obviously the high-powered offense would be a great landing spot for any running back. Okay, now I'm staring down this decision between a couple wide receivers. I'm looking at McLaurin, looking at Christian Kirk, and then we got Jackson Smith and Jigba, the new Seahawk. This feels a little high for him.
There's been no rookie wide receivers went off yet, right?
No. So he would be the first one. I don't think I like him even over Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman actually might be.
I don't know if I would rather
I'll take
JSN over Tyler Lockett in redraft. Like between those two guys on that offense, who's going to get more points this season? If I had to pick one just straight up, I'm taking Tyler Lockett.
Really? I think
Yeah.
it's tough because I feel like Lockett always has like sneaky good years. Like he's either very good, and even on his down years, they're like still productive.
Yeah, like
so it is hard to like put him over Lockett because I feel like Lockett's proven so much. But
bruh, every fucking Detroit situation's killing me. I want to draft a running back right now. I ended up going Terry, but the next 3 backs off the board: David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Swift. I feel like they're all affecting each other, and I don't know. I don't know how to approach that situation right there. So I just went with Terry. It sounds like Sam Howell's the guy though in Washington,
which is unfortunate.
Mojo was right.
I'm kind of excited to see Sam Howell, dude. I feel like I'm the only one that likes him.
I think they're better off playing Jacoby Brissett.
No. What do you mean?
I just don't think Sam Howell is good. I don't think there's anything to prove. Like, I don't know what the Commanders are trying to do. I don't know if they're trying to win games. I don't know if they're trying to tank. I know tanking doesn't really work in the NFL. You're going to lose your job. You're not going to get out of it what you're hoping for. But like,
you didn't see anything promising from Howell last year. I feel like he was more promising than Ritter was.
Sure, but that's like not saying much.
Good enough for me.
Neither of them are promising anything.
I thought Howell was fine, and I thought he had some rushing upside. I thought he could move the offense a little bit.
I don't know. Where was he drafted? Like 4th, 5th round. The draft capital definitely scares me.
5th round. Yeah, for sure. I don't think he's like their long-term solution, but I feel like there's a chance that he's like better than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, just because of the draft capital, though, he only has to make like a couple mistakes and he's done. And they're like, screw it, we're just gonna go to Brissett or bring back Heineke again or something.
Heineke's
yeah, they're gonna do whatever they can to bring him back.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
All right, so Jackson Smith and Jigba did go off the board at the end of the 7th.
So we had JSN and Tyler Lockett back to back. I'm with you though. I would go in redraft. I don't know if I want any of these rookies in redraft this year. I know maybe yeah. I mean, like,
you're talking receivers.
Receivers, sorry, yeah. I meant receivers. Because like I get like that argument has been one for a long time in fantasy. Like rookie wide receivers don't produce. I think a lot of the times when we see someone counter that, it's like the Jamar Chases, and it's like, yeah, they're fucking top 5 picks, top 10 picks, like they're alphas. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we have that in this year's class. I don't think we have like real alphas. I'm not like, oh, can't wait to get Zay Flowers on my fantasy team. Like, what's his upside?
Well, like a lot of those guys who go in the back of the 1st round, they end up having the slow start to the season, and then towards the end of the year, they could have like league-winning upside. Amon-Ra was one of those guys a few years ago. Even Elijah Moore was doing that.
I think JSN has a chance to do that this year. I think JSN has a chance to jump over Lockett by the second half of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't want to fade Lockett either, though. I feel like he's too good of a player.
I agree.
So what about in Dynasty? Because the quarterback situation in Seattle, it's good for, it's fine for this next year. I think we can expect another decent season from Geno. And then I think we expect, JSN and DK Metcalf to be the 1-2 punch going forward. Does kind of the future question mark of the Seattle quarterback position, like, does that scare you off from JSN? Is that something that like, well, it can only really improve from Geno?
I think I think there's a chance that they like are just kind of bought into Geno, to be honest with you. I feel like none of their actions map
for like more than another year.
Yeah.
They did give him a 4-year contract, didn't they?
They gave him a contract where I think they could probably get out after like 2 years. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Hold on one sec.
Your boy Desmond Ridder just got ripped.
Fuck, they're both still sitting there, those fucking Swift and Pacheco. Put the big board on the screen real quick.
This one?
Yeah. So people see the board, I guess.
I mean, it was up. If you were looking, you would have known.
It is going to be interesting to see how far DeAndre Swift falls in these drafts now.
I mean, he's going to fall really far until there's certainty on what. The thing is, though, I don't think a team's going to have to give up anything as a day 2 pick. Like, I don't know if we're going to figure out where Swift's landing spot is today, unless it involves like a package deal where like a day 2 pick's involved. But I feel like if it's going to be straight up, like a team gives a pick for Swift straight up, it's more likely to be a day 3 pick, 4, 5, 6.
I can see that for sure.
I'm going with my boy Brock Purdy here.
Brock.
Quarterback 3, I like it.
Back to your question with Geno, I think there's a chance that, I think the Seahawks are like past the point where they're going to have another pick that's high in the draft. I think they're too good now at this point for them to be like, oh, we're like they're not in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes anymore. You know what I mean? And if you're out of that, or like him or Drake May, you're not depending on a future quarterback to save your franchise. You know what I mean? So I think there's a chance that what if Geno's just like Kirk Cousins? What if he's like just your guy
like
for the next 7
Ryan
years?
Tannehill thing a few years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Where he came in and
So I actually think Geno probably provides a little bit more stability, and I just like the way that Seattle's building their team. So JSN's a guy that like I don't want to overthink it. I just think he's a really good receiver. I think he's like in a rising tide type of offense where I'm just like I want JSN. I'm not too worried about the QB position, honestly.
Yeah, as a Niner fan, it's unfortunate to see the Seahawks rebuilding so well.
we got a paid question.
Oh,
Act like you've been here before, sexy.
It's giving me $5 to answer this question. I have 101, 102. Oh my jeez, that's too many picks. Have Fields and Ritter. Was thinking Bijan, Stroud, Richardson.
this is definitely a you question.
I mean, I would go Bijan, Young, Richardson instead of Stroud, just because I have Richardson as QB1, Young as QB2, Stroud as QB3 in this rookie class. And yeah, but they're all pretty close though. It's kind of just choose whatever guy you want the most, which guy you like the best. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Take Bijan for sure though.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. You're kind of splitting hairs there. Bijan for sure. Richardson would be one of mine. I also like Bryce Young over Stroud, but if you like Stroud over Young, then do that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think Richardson is for sure one of your guys, because if Richardson hits and you have Fields and Richardson together, that's
Beautiful.
Insane upside. And then at the 110, you're likely going to be able to get, like, obviously you don't have to worry about wide receiver, because 110, 201, 202, that's like the perfect spot for those wide receivers. That's where like the Zay Flowers is, the Quentin Johnsons, like those guys end up falling typically in rookie drafts.
I think they'll go higher just because they got that first round draft capital.
Yeah, we'll see where
And
some
then
other
Levis
guys go.
falling out.
All right,
I think I should take Tyler Algier here.
I did something super gross. Let me put the big board up here. I took James Conner. I have no idea really what's going on in Arizona at all, but I'm looking at these other running backs surrounding him. You just mentioned Tyler Algier. He's dead.
Big dead.
Javonte Williams. I wanted to go him, but I've also heard that his injury might have been so serious that it's like carrying over into this next year.
It's bad, yeah.
It
gives me big
injury.
J.K. Dobbins vibes going into this year.
Oh, that's a good comp.
Yeah,
it's a good
where it's like
comp.
they're just gonna talk. You're so in love with the dude that you're just gonna be like, the injury doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But like every fucking report is like, it matters. Stop
right.
drafting this guy.
And then there's also Joe Mixon. We don't really know what's good with his future. Zach Charbonnet. I thought about flirting with Zach Charbonnet here. He could find himself getting drafted today.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I do think that like we're in a time period right now for the next like 6 hours where if you're on underdog and you're drafting, Charbonnet might be a really sharp pick, because the two running backs that got drafted got picked so early that we might see the ones behind them like pushed up just because of that. Like, do you think the entire day 2 is going to happen without like Charbonnet getting picked? It's like some RB needy team is going to be like, I'm going to get Charb, and like there's just nothing happening right now, so I'm going to trade up in the round 2.
That team's not sitting back being like, oh, maybe Gibbs falls a little bit, maybe Charb falls. It's like, oh, we got to get him now.
Exactly. That's why I think Charb could be like a really actually sharp pick, where like after tonight he's going to end up being like a 6th or 7th round pick, where you can get him now for like a 9 or 10 round price.
All right, so you heard the man. If you're not already on Underdog, go download the app, use promo code DIMES for 100% deposit match bonus, and make the sharpest pick on the board for the next 6-ish hours. Zach Charbonnet.
Sharp picking a.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty surprising to me that if you look at these rookie wide receivers, JSN went in round 7. I just took Jordan Addison in round 9 as the second rookie wide receiver off the board.
I like that.
I don't understand
a lot.
why, like Addison, Quentin Johnson, why are they going so much further after JSN?
It's especially, I was going to say, especially in redraft, I would actually probably prefer Addison over Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
I think I would still prefer JSN, just because I do feel like JSN just feels like the quintessential guy who breaks out of the second half of the year, but you're kind of just sitting there waiting for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Addison probably steps into like a pretty big role significantly.
Feels like a very ascendable depth chart for him. Obviously not going to surpass Justin Jefferson, but Kirk Cousins. I'm going to go with a hot take and say no. But Kirk Cousins, he spreads the love around.
He does.
There's a lot of Cousins love. a lot of cousin love to go around.
Juice everywhere.
Yep.
And Quentin Johnston too. Like, I love the landing spot for him. We're gonna see Keenan Allen kind of phase out of the offense more as the season gets along, as the seasons go along. with him being 31 years old now. Mike Williams, we know what his role is at this point. He's just a go up and catch the ball on the outside and fall. But Quentin Johnston, he's a big yak guy, and the Chargers really lacked that last season. I'm pretty sure they were last in terms of yak among all teams. So Quentin Johnston's the perfect wide receiver for them in that offense, and I could easily see him getting a big time role immediately.
I'm really excited to watch the Chargers offense.
You're on the clock. I still think it's a more of a dynasty pick than a redraft pick for Quentin Johnston.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean, I understand like what you're saying. He fits in really well and he provides a lot of what they're lacking. But you know what? They did get Kellen Moore, so the offense is going to be different. I was going to go on about how kind of boring the offense was and how like just around the line of scrimmage they played.
I just think everything changes now.
Yeah.
Pace goes up, number of plays, like passing downfield goes up.
Definitely.
I mean, they were using their players just in a nightmarish fucking situation last year.
Like he's obviously going to get on the field because there's no way he's not at least the wide receiver 3 in this offense to start.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be very clear. I think they're going to go just 11 personnel every fucking play.
Yeah.
It's Keenan in the slot, Williams and Johnson on the outside, Eckler in the backfield. Like, how do you stop that? It's unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
All right. A little bit more running back talk here. Just took AJ Dillon with at the end of the 10th. Other running backs available. I think I'm just like totally skipping over Algier and Williams here. So between AJ Dillon and Jamal Williams was a guy I was considering because we don't really know about the suspension of Alvin Kamara. He could also just be another goal line vulture. Damian Harris, I think, is a good pick with Buffalo. So between those 3 guys, Jamal, AJ Dillon, Damian Harris, how would you rank those 3?
I like Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal number 1?
Well.
Yeah. Jamal, I feel like I'm the most confident in his role.
Just cue him up right there.
Most confident.
Good to know.
Fuck, I was going to go with it too.
Just with the uncertainty with Kamara, especially like if it's 8 games, which I'm pretty sure that's what they were like originally saying it could be.
Sexy, I've learned, just a piece of content advice. Don't even speculate on legal advice as it comes to fantasy.
I'm a big speculator, though.
I've never even been close to being right when I've tried to do that. Like the number of games,
yeah, but you don't know the law like I do.
I'm pretty sure I said like Kamara was getting suspended 4 games in the beginning of the 2021 season. And here we are fucking 3 years later.
All right. Loin.
I don't know the law like I do.
Loin is in the Discord, isn't he?
What is Loin? What are you talking about?
The guy who just drafted. Loin?
I mean, they're all in the
they
Discord.
just went Javonte and Damian Harris back to back.
Yeah, and I queued him up, and I realized that as I was doing it.
Cue him up, chop him down, baby.
You know who's got to be a huge winner of the first round? Is Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. The fact that the Commanders, who were a heavy favorite to land Bijan Robinson, didn't get Bijan Robinson, their careers might be saved. They had a gun pointed to their fantasy values head.
There's still
a
lot of potential, though.
Potential for like someone else to come in.
Charbonnet could easily go there. They could maybe draft, I don't know, Devon A-Chain.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I feel like it'd be weird to add like another Brian Robinson type beat. Like if you're going to add a beat to the backfield, it's got to be loud and it's got to be Bijan Robinson to like, silence everything else. I don't think it makes sense to spend
the only type of player that would make sense to add to that backfield is like J.D. McKissic, right? Like add a specific pass catching specialist to the backfield.
Yeah.
And in this class, I'm trying to think of like
Evan Hull.
Could be sexy,
he's like a good pass catcher, but he's not a pass catching specialist. I'd almost think like Kenny McIntosh might make sense, or I don't know.
I just want Kenny McIntosh to be drafted.
Maybe no, I don't at all, because then it means I'm going to try to draft him. I just want him off. Like if he gets drafted, I'm gonna be like, maybe I'm back in on Kenny McIntosh. I wouldn't touch him if he went to Washington. Disgusting.
I feel like Washington's just going to be a really bad team this year. I'm going to avoid them entirely.
They got Sam Howell. That's why.
I took Sam Howell as my QB3.
That's why they're going to be bad.
What do you mean?
I wonder how many picks Nick would miss if he didn't get reminded. Probably all of them.
I'd probably draft a better team than if I had fucking drafted for myself.
Quentin Johnston is a future Keenan Allen replacement. Do you think he's going to play in the slot?
No, not with Keenan there. He could. I mean, he was like an 85% outside guy.
Like after Keenan's gone.
No. Actually, you know what's kind of interesting? I think a lot of people compare him to Mike Williams because of his size. I think his play style is actually a hybrid between Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
He's pretty twitchy. You know what I mean?
He's not even close to the same kind of player as Mike Williams.
No.
It's just the size. They're like, oh, they're the same player.
Yeah, he can make plays down the field and everything. I think they're I think he's actually a hybrid between the two. It's cool.
Ooh, little tight end talk here. We had Pat Freiermuth go in the 10th round, Cole Kmet, and Dalton Schultz in the 11th. I think that's interesting because Schultz went the latest, but I think between those three, he's my favorite.
Really?
Schultz over Freiermuth.
I would take Schultz over Freiermuth.
Schultz over Freiermuth and Kmet.
I mean, I know Schultz is coming from Dallas, a very pass heavy offense. But I think he could be a primary target in Houston. I mean, who else at this point are they really throwing the ball to?
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
I think, a tight end is going to be a young quarterback's best friend. I don't know. I like Dalton Schultz.
Kind of selling me a bit. I might buy what you're selling.
I think I'm out.
I think Freiermuth's upside is way more limited than Schultz. I think there's just too many mouths to feed
upside wise, no. Upside wise, really? I think Schultz has the lowest of Freiermuth.
You think he has the lowest?
Yeah.
Man. Okay, people drop in the chat who has the best upside between these three tight ends, because I'm pretty sure it's
just
Schultz.
Rank them: Schultz, Freiermuth, and Kmet. I think the Steelers are a sneaky bet to be like a pretty fucking good team in the AFC. They added who they had Broderick Jones last night, a tackle.
I think they added the tackle. Yeah,
they jumped up above the Jets to shore up that offensive line. They added a few free agents in the offseason on the line too. I think they're going to be like a really improved team on the offensive side of the ball. Kenny Pickles takes a little step up there. We're out.
I've been liking the Steelers. I think a lot of weeks Pat Freiermuth can find himself not very involved. Where I think Schultz to me, I think has also a nice baseline, but then has the upside to be like their number one weapon that they use.
They got Robert Woods, Mechie, Nico Collins.
It's literally just Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I guess, but who the fuck is Dalton Schultz?
He's got some receiving chops to him. Is Cole Kmet though I
like Kmet.
Yeah, I kind of like Kmet as a breakout this year too. I think he showed he's got a good connection with Fields, and he can make plays down the field. So can't really get much more than that from a tight end.
What other tight ends do we got after this? Because after that, it feels like the tight ends absolutely fall off a cliff. Like after those three guys, I'm not excited about anyone.
It's ugly. I'm going to be honest with you. I think
Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I think I might wait on him and have him as my tight end. Like I'd take him over Dawson Knox and redraft.
Yeah, me too.
10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, he's who I was going to take next, honestly.
Ooh, you know who's a good pick right here? After taking Aaron Rodgers early, his old favorite target.
You want me to hit you with a pure Canadian A?
Oh, damn. That was good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I honestly didn't think you could do it.
I got a little bit Canadian in me. That was really bad. That was awful.
I actually have forgot that you're from Canada most of the time. It doesn't really come out of you that much anymore. Never really did, I guess.
Besides against,
yeah. But I don't even really look at that as. I didn't even know that was a Canada thing.
A or against?
Against.
Yeah, I don't think it's like even all of Canada. It might just be running my family.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird thing, not a Canadian thing, which I guess a lot of overlap there.
Actually, we were talking earlier about the weapons behind Garrett Wilson. At that time, talking about him, I totally forgot they got Allen Lazard.
Mecole Hardman too.
Yeah. I'm off of Mecole Hardman. He's been dead.
Yeah, Rodgers is gonna force Lazard onto the field.
Yeah, for sure.
They also gave him a decently sizable contract. I think it was 4 for $40 or something like that.
You think Randall Cobb ends up as a Jet now?
I hope not.
Be hilarious.
It's such a wasted roster spot.
And this is what we get for talking about Dalton Kincaid. He goes, maybe a couple picks after mentioning him? We had a little bit of a tight end run here, but.
Yeah, we did. Chiggy, Dulcich, Dalton Kincaid.
I guess I'm totally punting on tight end at this point.
Chiggy's not a bad little late flyer.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Chiggy feels like the guy that everybody's going to be hyping up this whole offseason.
Yeah, and then he ends up just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Has 2 good weeks.
I will say, though, he did enough. I feel like a lot of times people get excited about tight ends it's just based on pure speculation. But like Jiggy was actually good on the football field for a minute.
I gotta do it. I'm taking my boy Hefe Wilson Jr. over Raheem Mostert. Hot take?
That's the strat.
I can't. I don't have back-to-back picks. Is that hot to say that I'd rather have Wilson over Mostert?
Nah, it's just bad because Miami's gonna walk away from the draft tonight with a back probably.
With Dalvin Cook, right?
Dalvin Cook and
Charbonnet and
clock,
A-Chain.
Nick.
fuck yeah, I panicked and took Mostert.
I think
As I'm
that was
talking
actually
about.
probably the best pick left on the board.
Maybe. I think there's a chance that in like 48 hours, both of those Miami running backs are irrelevant.
I don't
Over the
know.
next
I
48
think
hours.
McDaniel's got a soft spot for them both. He's trying to prove a point.
I mean, they also signed Chase Edmonds last year, like a $15 million contract, and he was gone in a second.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that that's good for.
I'm saying like that. I don't think he gives a fuck about Wilson and Mostert.
Oh,
I think he would have replaced him in a second. I think he did. He tried to.
No, I mean, because Wilson got there midway through the season.
That's true.
He actually replaced Edmonds with Wilson.
Yeah, but I'm saying that
Hit him with the Uno reverse card.
That's just because Edmonds was just horrific.
I'm sleeping on Chig the Sig. I mean,
Yeah, you are. You're sleeping.
I like him.
You only care about people who play for San Francisco.
That's right. George Kittle, tight end 1. McCaffrey, RB 1. Brock Purdy, the GOAT.
skirt.
All right. We got a crowd of wide receivers here. We got Zay Jones, Elijah Moore, Tyler Boyd, Josh Palmer. Nothing too exciting about any of these guys. Out of this group of wide receivers, Zay Jones is really the only one that has any type of appeal for me. He had some games where he could blow up. Do we think, although, obviously Calvin Ridley's coming back.
Yeah, he's toast.
This is just a dead zone of wide receivers at this point.
Dead zone of everything.
I guess
I'm probably just firing off
fair.
random rookie picks at this point.
Here's what I think. Sky Moore makes a little bit of sense, just because the depth chart in KC is so up for grabs. I think DJ Chark kind of makes a little sense too. Like they need something there in Carolina, and if Thielen's going to go, where did Thielen go? I feel like he went fucking 5 rounds earlier. I think there's a chance. I think there's an off chance that DJ Chark is the one there in Carolina this year. Should have told you that because I kind of want him.
Yeah. Josh Downs, a wide receiver that you're very high on. You like the talent. Just went off the board. Probably not a day 2, second and third round.
Yeah, I think he's going to be.
You think he's a day 2 pick?
A day 2 for sure. Yeah. The question is how early. I think he's going to be a second round pick.
Who are the top receivers still left to be drafted? There's Downs.
Downs could be the next guy.
Hyatt.
Downs,
There's
Hyatt, Tillman, yeah, Marvin Mims, if you want to put
Marvin
him in there,
Mims.
depending how teams see these players, yeah.
If you had to predict the next wide receiver drafted, do you think it's between like him and Hyatt?
Yeah, I think so.
But there's always, like, in the second round, there's always a couple surprise.
Always, yeah.
Wide
It's like
receivers.
teams getting weird that are like, I want the best blocking fucking wide receiver in the draft. Let me use the 40th overall pick on them.
There's going to be 2 guys that we've just never heard of before.
100%. It happens every year. Last year was Tyquan Thornton.
I was just about to
Velus
bring him up.
Jones.
And Velus Jones. Yeah, shit like that. I
And
feel like
there was,
Trey Palmer. I think Trey Palmer has like a sneaky chance to be drafted pretty highly. Jonathan Mingo, I think, has a chance to be the top 50 pick as well. So I don't know. I feel like all shit just breaks loose in the second round. Just teams trading everywhere because you have the entire, like, you saw how the first round played out, and now you have the entire, like, they had the entire night to now like think through the way the second round, third round is going to play out. So you have all day today, 12 hours to kind of like maneuver around and see what you want to do.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of play that would you rather game with these receivers who don't have actual landing spots.
Mm-hmm.
But Devon A-Chain, day 2 pick. Running backs, it's hard. Running backs, it's hard because these guys can go
They could fall
literally
as far
anywhere.
Oh, fuck.
As, like, undrafted.
Oh, no one took Chark. Nice. Thank you. Yeah.
What does your gut tell you? Is
On
A-Chain going today? Is he finding his new home?
My gut tells me that, yes, he will be picked in day 2. He just feels like another one of those players that like a GM or a coach will get fixated on. and it'll be like, this is the missing, we need this speed to unlock our offense or something. And they'll
explosive playmaker.
Yeah, and they'll just pick him because of his speed, which is like obviously why you want to pick him, but
I just went with Michael Mayer. Hopefully he finds a good spot.
I was thinking about him. I only have one tight end still.
I'm not that high on any of these tight. Actually, the rankings are a little bit weird. I mean, obviously, Dawson Knox is not adjusted to the fact that he just lost his job.
He'll move quick though.
Yeah, Taysom Hill. I don't really understand why Taysom Hill's ranked this high. Like, would you ever?
I mean, this is like where he went last year, and then he had. I mean, think about the last like 4 years. He's had like at least 6 really big weeks each year. It makes sense, but
I always feel like those weeks come because the Saints are in such like a shithole with quarterback, and I feel like
it just happens every year.
I guess
they just use him, bro. They don't care. It's like goal line, receiving, and if he's a tight end, all he needs is like to do one thing well one week, and he gets into the top 10 of the scoring position. It feels like it's one of those players that like you convince yourself he's just due to not be an NFL player anymore this year.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just every year he just gets it done. So I don't know. He's one of those guys that like if you have him on your team come the playoffs, you probably like win the playoffs because of fucking him. It's annoying.
And they're gonna do the same thing they did last year, where like was it with Andy Dalton, where they would just bring on Taysom Hill randomly to play quarterback.
Yeah, of course. That's what I mean. Like,
but I feel like Andy Dalton has those down games where you're like, damn, like this tight end, kick returner, special team specialist is like a better quarterback than Andy Dalton at this point. To me, it feels like with Derek Carr, you have more stability at the quarterback position. I know what you're saying by like he's due to not be an NFL player, but this is the time it feels like he's so due to not be an NFL player.
Yeah, but okay, at the end of the year, like let's say I'm going to put the over-under on, Hill is purely a best ball draft pick. Exactly, 100%.
Yeah. You would never want to play that game of do I start him in a regular redraft or even dynasty. I actually, unfortunately, own him in a couple dynasty leagues.
Okay, let me put the over-under. Taysom Hill, total touchdowns this year. Receiving, rushing, passing. I don't know how many he had last year. I'm going to say 6.5, over-under.
That immediately feels high.
Yeah, that feels high.
But
there's gonna be one game where he's gonna do it. I would probably lean under on that.
Okay. Regardless, the point being, if any tight end in fantasy gives you 6 or 7 touchdowns on the year, he's gonna be pretty fucking useful for best ball. And that's kind of the way you got to look at like Taysom Hill. It's like you're not gonna be able to predict it. You're just along for the fucking ride. Let's see. Last year he had 2 receiving. He had 2 rushing. Or no, he had 1 receiving, 2 rushing. What about his passing stats?
Yeah, he definitely had a couple passing. I think this is a good question.
2 passing. Oh, wait, did he have 7 last year? 7 rushing last year.
7? No.
Is this right?
No way.
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
He had 7 rushing last year, 2 receiving, 2 passing. The year before, he had 5 rushing, 4 passing. I get what you're saying. Like the passing stuff is not predictable because he's unlikely to do any quarterback stuff with Derek Carr there now. But I do think they just use him in such a weird way that like if he gets 6 rushing touchdowns this year, that's tight end 12-ish probably production.
It's fair. It's fair for best ball.
Sorry, go on.
So what does Mayer do good? Why should we be excited about Michael Mayer?
I mean, he's like a Jason Witten, Zach Ertz type of guy. He's extremely reliable hands. He's also a super fucking good blocker. So he's going to be on the field for all 3 downs, like contested catch guy. Other than that, I wasn't like overly in love with him either. Like I watched him and Kincaid back to back, and Kincaid was the first guy I watched, and I was like, holy fuck. Like, am I just overly excited because it's the first tight end I'm watching? But they move differently. Mayer's like a very traditional tight end, like a 3-down tight end that like sometimes those guys work out for fantasy. A lot of the times they don't really. I feel like the ones that end up being special are like yak guys but like Mayer could be a dude who scores 10 receiving touchdowns one year because if they use him in the red zone, you know what I mean?
He's getting compared to like Jason Witten, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which would be perfect for Dallas.
Surprised they passed on him.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I don't think he's going to last much longer in the draft. He'll be, one of the first guys taken in this next day. Jake Ferguson was a guy drafted here in this 15th round. I couldn't tell you who that was prior to just seeing his name pop up on the board.
Jake Ferguson.
He's the current
Cowboys,
tight end one
right?
for the Cowboys.
He's the current tight. Hey, what are the chances he stays the tight end one for the Cowboys? Like knowing that that's their depth chart at tight end, I feel
unlikely because it's a strong tight end class.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if they do not end up taking one. So we have the Steelers, the Cardinals, the Lions. So I could see
the Lions.
I could see the Lions pick 3 in the second round. Go with Michael Mayer. Like them getting him down there would be fucking super sexy. The Colts at 4. The Colts kind of feel like a spot where he could go there too.
Yeah.
Colts has drafted a tight end every year, it feels like.
Yeah, but he could be like I don't know. He just feels kind of like a Colts player to me. It's like you build a good football team by taking good football players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're also on the board. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
One quarterback I really like all the way down here. I just took him last round. Is Gardner Minshew. We don't know how many games Anthony Richardson's going to play, but there's at least a decent chance he doesn't play this season, I feel like. And if you can get Gardner Minshew for the entire year, all the way down at this point in a Superflex draft, kind of love that.
Jacoby Brissett plays more games than Gardner Minshew.
You think so?
Yeah, that's why I'm taking him right here. I'm going to talk my talk about Jacoby and then not take him. So
I think there are about 5 landing spots in the first 10 picks that could go Michael Mayer. So you have actually maybe not. Well, you have the Lions. I think the Colts. I even think like the Rams. Like Tyler Higbee, I don't know if he's even still on the team or not, but either way, this is his last year for sure. The Raiders make sense. The Saints, I think, are a sneaky team. I feel like he would fit really well with the fucking Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him being on the Saints. Yeah, I don't imagine him lasting the first like 8 fucking picks. 6'5", and can block. Mayer's exactly what you want. A traditional.
What about Hendon? Mr. Hooker, where does he fall?
I mean, we gotta wait for Levis to get picked first.
That's true.
Actually, at this point, it's like free for all. If a team likes Hooker more than Levis, like I could see Hooker going before Levis.
I could see it too.
But that's the other spot too. Like when you're in the second round, the draft capital, it's less expensive to trade up to picks like 32 to 40 or whatever. So it's like a lot more trades happen at this point. So
yeah,
it's hard to predict. You can't just look at the teams that are drafting right now and be like, oh, he fits there, he fits there, he fits there. Because if a team wants to trade up to 36, it's not really that expensive to do it. So they'll just go up and get their guy.
I would be shocked if the Titans don't come away with one of those 2 guys.
Yeah, they're the 10th pick of the second round, but they could trade up to. It's like if you want to move from pick 40 to 33, it probably costs you like a 5th round pick or something like that, a 4th round pick at the most. And if you think it's your quarterback, then it's not a heavy price to pay. Titans do make sense.
I was actually surprised that the Titans just decided to pass on a quarterback entirely with their 1st round pick, considering how much buzz there was that they wanted to trade up to 3 to get a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, you have within those first 10 picks, you have all the teams that basically people thought might take a quarterback at the 1st round. Like you have the Lions right away, you have the Colts, you have the Raiders, you have the Titans. So we could see a quarterback run there as well.
Yeah. Raiders were definitely another surprise that they didn't take. I really thought Will Levis was going to go at 7 there.
I wasn't that surprised once the first 3 guys went off the board.
Really?
It felt like more of a forced pick if they were going to take him, but obviously they're not above that. Let's see. I need a fucking another running back. Jeez.
I know. Running backs are tough at this point.
Yeah.
Took Michael Carter.
I'm gonna go with a rookie here. Tank.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I'm getting good vibes from Tank. Last couple weeks I've been rising on him a little bit. I think an NFL team's gonna like him.
You think so?
I can see it. I mean, he had that really good freshman season in college, and NFL team's probably gonna look at that and be like, this guy has the potential.
We could make him good again. We could save him.
Titans for sure grab up.
What's up, Wesley? How you doing, buddy? Titans for sure move up and grab Levis. And I mean, maybe. Levis to Rams. That could make sense, too, as a Stafford guy. But I also think the Rams are probably looking at their team and are like, we could be in the Williams sweepstakes.
Yeah. The next Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles fucked around, had a great 2015. Never forget.
For real. He made Allen Robinson all the money that he's been making these last 6 years.
Don't compliment Will Levis like that.
What if the Cardinals pull a Scott and draft Caleb Williams and Drake May with 101 and 102?
It'd be fucking sick. He's so sick. Yeah, if they actually got the 1 and the 2 next year, that'd be so problematic. To be able to get their quarterback and then also like 6 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And know what's crazy is they don't like necessarily even need a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, true.
Like we're just assuming
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, they could take Williams, they could take May. It's like they also have Kyler.
Yeah.
What do you think are the odds?
Yeah.
Kyler is still on the roster in 2024.
Still on the roster?
Yeah.
I would put it at pretty small.
Yeah. They're gonna do Kyler
Like Kyler did Josh.
to Josh Rosen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how to word that, but you got what I was trying to lay down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, talk about getting holes for picks. If you can trade the 2 and you can trade Kyler, you're end up with Caleb Williams and an all-star team.
I didn't even think about the trading of Kyler. I like what he got the extension, so he's on a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't just get rid of him.
But a team's going to trade for him.
Yeah.
I wonder like what his actual trade value is though.
The only thing that kind of makes it weird is that like when Lamar was up for trade, like nobody stepped up.
Yeah, and Kyler's like by this time next year, if Kyler's on the trade block, you're going to assume he probably didn't play much of this year, and that's like a lot of bad vibes around him, you know? Like if he doesn't play this year and people are like questioning his work ethic and shit like that, questioning his ability to win, I don't know how much they really get for him. Where's the marks? I mean, listen,
I drank them all last night.
Yeah, you did.
I was
You were
pounding
kind of
marks.
faded. You got drunk quick, like out of nowhere.
I just
I didn't
drank a
realize you
lot
were
out of
like getting
nowhere.
after it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was getting after it. You were like, oh, I'm just chilling. I'm just laying down.
I was ready to go to bed after after Bijan went to Atlanta.
yeah.
Did you see my text before you saw the pick?
You saw the text come in, but I was like,
we
not
got it
letting
on
look.
camera. I didn't like. I knew that we were behind. Oh fuck! Hold on.
Yeah, our TV was a little behind. His phone was getting blown up, and I was like, this has to be, the Falcons pick. And
I
Yeah.
texted you that before even seeing the pick. I just wanted to fuck with you.
Yeah, so
and
we
it
were
ended up being right.
So we were sitting there, and like I didn't. I knew we were delayed, so I was like, Atlanta's on the clock. Like people aren't going to text me if we get like a fucking O lineman or D lineman or something like that, right? But then I saw a text pop up, and I was like, didn't see who it was from. I thought it was from Jack, but I just saw like one word, and I was like, I feel like that says Bijan on it. I didn't see it, but then I saw like 3 text messages pop up after. I was like, it has to be fucking Bijan. I was so pissed.
You're so pissed. That was a sexy pick.
No, I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm all in. Couldn't be more happy.
Falcons
about
have done nothing but make sexy picks this
real.
last half
We're
decade.
so sexy. If nothing else, we're just gonna be sexy.
Yeah,
Just a
you're
Madden
going to
team.
be exactly. You're going to be everyone's favorite Madden team,
Hell yeah.
and except for Desmond Ritter.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
Honestly, if
you know what I mean.
You know what I'm. If you went on Madden right now, I low-key feel like Taylor Heineke might be rated higher than Desmond Ritter.
Probably. Falcons got to be the best team to inherit a franchise with and just trade for any quarterback.
No, what you do is you import the 2024 draft class and then take Caleb Williams.
It's true.
Did you want Carter over Bijan? I did at the time. Actually, I think on camera, right? I was saying I wanted Carter there bad.
You did. I can't find that comment, but
It's the last one. Yeah, I did. I mean, we need so much help on our defensive line. It's so disgusting. But listen, we're buying into the modern day offense. We're buying into the modern day NFL. And if that means Bijan, cool. I've talked myself into it. I'm really all in on Bijan.
You
I'm
really
excited.
have.
I'm excited about it now.
It's crazy to me that Carter fell to the Eagles. And like, how does the NFL just let that happen?
So beautiful. They got him and Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Like, what an unbelievable first round.
Like the Eagles do it every single year. They just draft the most important positions and they win the draft every single year.
That's what I
Teams
was
have to
saying.
know.
Yeah, like first round. I said over the last like fucking 14 years, they've only drafted O-line, edge, D-line, quarterback, wide receivers, like the 4 positions, and they just keep doing it. Good teams stay fucking good.
I think I said this last stream, but Allen Robinson's a guy who I think needs to move up some boards.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Cuba.
Atlanta will be okay with a 15 to 20th ranked defense. Do you think
Yeah, our pass rush.
I was going to say, you think you can get all the way up to 20?
No, our pass rush is the dead last. It's been dead last for 2 straight years. And we're adding. I mean, we've added a couple like mediocre pieces, which I guess will be all right. But No, our defense is it's not great. It's not great.
You know what the best defense is?
Good
Bijan
offense.
Robinson.
Exactly. More offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where are we at in this draft, huh? How many more rounds?
We got to be coming to the end soon.
Round
Yep,
19.
we got just about the last round. Keyshawn Boutte, the last pick.
Ew.
I know. Want to talk about something gross?
Ewies.
You think he's not a day 2 pick?
I don't think so. Not after the combine. I think he falls to day 3 for sure. What if he goes undrafted? I could see it.
I could kind of see that too.
Nah, he'll get drafted.
Wouldn't take him over Jonathan Mingo, that's for sure. I think Mingo's a guy who can sneak up an NFL draft board in the real's life.
I actually think it's fucking insane. Okay, so this is the part of the draft. Like Cedric Tillman still on the board is crazy, considering he might get like okay,
Yeah.
Tillman, and then look at the guy behind him, Justin Ross. Justin Ross didn't get picked last year. Why are they next to each other? Like Cedric Tillman's probably going to be a top 60 pick in the NFL draft this year. That doesn't make very much sense to me.
No, it doesn't. I was gonna take Tillman, but for some reason I'm just so in on Allen Robinson.
Is he still on the board?
No, I took him. But I'm saying with my last pick, it was between him and Tillman. A-Rob, man, he still got it. I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for factual.
Yeah.
He's still got something.
Problems.
He's still getting paid. Still a paid professional.
He still got that bank account. I'll tell you that. It's London Bijan is a stout trio. Some of those free agent defensive signs will be okay, I think. Yeah. Calais Campbell. I mean, he's
Like on Bud Dupree.
He's big. He's big, if nothing else. Yeah.
Falcons are actually winning the Super Bowl this year.
How many times do I have to tell you guys that?
Where do you think they place in their division?
First.
You think so?
No.
I mean, it's a relatively weak division.
Relatively?
Man, you
It's
didn't
extremely
need
weak
to put
division.
relatively in there.
I don't know why I did.
I think if I had to really rank them,
I actually think
it's actually so up for grabs.
it is so up
Wouldn't
for
be
grabs.
surprised if any of these teams finish fourth. I'd be surprised if the Saints finish fourth, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of the other teams finish third, second, first, fourth.
I mean, the Saints, I feel like, just have nothing around Derek Carr. I mean, I guess they still kind of have a defense.
What about
right?
Fucking 9th round or 20th round Darius Slayton? They didn't add a wide receiver, and he was like low key awesome for them last year. I'm not gonna take him, but
I don't know if I would say low key awesome.
what do you
At
mean?
best, maybe like low key mediocre.
Okay,
Dude, he had like a fucking 6-game streak where he was
here's the thing.
dominating.
Do I take the known of Austin Hooper, who just signed with the Raiders, or the unknown of Darnell Washington, an absolute beast who can find himself getting drafted today? Maybe he gets inserted as the tight end 1 somewhere.
I'd take Chase Brown.
I'm gonna go risque. I'm gonna go risque. Give me him. Did I get him? I got him. Darnell Washington. All those spots we talked about earlier where Michael Mayer could go, insert Darnell Washington.
I think you should have went with Rob Gronkowski.
Damn, you have a great tight end room.
I do.
Who's your
Michael
tight ends?
Mayer, Darnell Washington, and Irv Smith.
Dude, it's up. Yeah, no, I fumbled.
How does your team look here?
My wide receivers are fucking awesome.
My quarterbacks feel sturdy with Burrow and Rodgers. Running backs, I feel I kind of punted running backs a little bit. ETN, I think, is cool. James Conner, not exciting. AJ Dillon, not really exciting.
Get some of the chats.
There's too much to look at. Way too much to look at.
So easy.
What do y'all think of?
Humongous.
I saw that name and thought it was a guy getting drafted today. I was like, I don't know who that is. Sunday Ticket, dude. If you're using how are you not using Red Zone?
Well,
Red Zone's
YouTube
on
TV
Sunday
is
Ticket,
taking
isn't it?
Sunday Ticket.
Oh yeah,
YouTube, yeah, they take it. I think Sunday Ticket is what? Like you just get to choose the games that are on the screen or something?
I think so. I think it's just you just can watch any game.
I just feel like Red Zone is skim the fat off of just everything.
Yeah,
like, I don't think I
exactly.
need Sunday Ticket.
No, I don't think you do. It's Red Zone or nothing.
I feel like Sunday Ticket's perfect if you're just like I guess most football fans are a diehard fan of their team. If you live locally, you probably get the local broadcast on your CBS or Fox or some shit.
I feel like they black out the local games.
Yeah, they do, I guess, but they don't do that here. Like we get every Jets and Giants games on either Fox or
But
CBS.
I think you pay for that. Like I think normally they would black them out if you didn't.
I mean, I don't
buy some type of package or whatever.
I guess we just have YouTube TV though. We get to watch those. So I don't really understand Sunday Ticket, to be honest with you. I think I've tried to like strip it before and stream it, and it was always like kind of a shitty product. But I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm just doing it wrong.
Nick won the draft. I don't know. You don't gotta lie to us like that.
That's a fucking fact.
Yeah.
I think Canada does it best. We got Red Zone, and then every single game it's on DAZN for $20 a month.
If you gamble on games. All right, that's actually a good point. I think if you're someone who like if you do live in-game betting, that's a good way to do it, because I feel like what I've done recently in terms of gambling is I almost only do second half betting of like basketball games. It's because you get a feel for how the games are going as they're going on. It's like, oh, this guy's hot, this guy's not, this guy's in foul trouble, whatever. I'm betting on this. I feel like that could work if you're watching the game in real time and betting on the second half or betting on like next play or something like that. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Larry, 2 times.
Is there anybody
you
in
good?
this draft?
I feel like you're struggling right now on the ones and twos.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I'm trying to do like 4 things at once here. But is there any
welcome
team...
to the fucking big leagues?
Skeptic, which team are you? Are you probably Skep 6?
This is ridiculous.
Sev?
Let me fucking drive, dude.
Go.
What comment?
You got an old ass team. Skeptic, your quarterbacks suck ass.
I can't see the teams from here, to be honest.
I only see Kyler Murray so far. Scroll down. Jeez, Kyler Murray, Jimmy Garoppolo are your 2 quarterbacks?
That's
You're
not
done
great.
for.
That's it. You guys know this is a Superflex draft.
He was not aware for sure. At least you got Travis Kelce though, one with a good tight end.
Yeah, this is a Superflex draft. All the drafts on Underdog are Superflex, so you need to come away with minimum 3 quarterbacks. Damn right, I got the stacks. We got Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin. We got Kirk Cousins and TJ Hawkinson. We've got Justin Fields and Justin Fields.
Is there a position breakdown that you feel like you go for? Like, I want to leave with 4 quarterbacks, whatever, 7 receivers. Like, is there a specific number you go for? Or is it more just like best player on the board?
Usually best player. I think it also depends though how, like, where you're taking guys. Like if you take 2 wide receivers early, then maybe you stack up more on your running backs and your tight ends, because you're going to get more inconsistencies with those guys.
I guess I meant by like later in the draft. Is there a cap that you're putting on the amount of wide receivers or running backs that you're drafting?
I haven't figured that out yet because I'm still kind of adjusting to the fact that Superflex is the standard here. And you only start 2 wide receivers. So I think the last few years, people have gotten obsessed with wide receivers to the point where like you see their Underdogs team posted on Twitter or some shit. It's like
it's all wide receivers.
It's 9 wide receivers and 4 or 5 running backs. And we start drafting like that, but then you realize you only have to start 2 wide receivers and you have 1 flex. So it's like, maybe I need to adjust and go 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, something like that. Where I went 8 wide receivers, 6 running backs. I think it's smart to probably over index on quarterbacks just in this draft type, just because there's so many positions. And you like, if there's one position that you don't want to have a 0 in, it's probably quarterbacks, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I actually totally forgot that this was, you only start 2 wide receivers, but
yeah,
whatever. Josh Ortiz. What Wall think of my team at the 108? Started off with T-Law, Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, A-Rich. A-Rich as your quarterback too, like we mentioned before. That's very risky. Mac Jones, another quarterback that you had in there.
A very like high upside, low floor team.
I like how that started off. I feel like the first 5 picks were good. Obviously, a lot hinges on Richardson though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. David Montgomery, we already discussed how much we hate him. So
I think
drafting him.
I think one strategy I'm gonna continue to take and use is getting a top tight end. I think like a top 5, 6 tight end, yeah, because I think you're throwing your team. If you end up with the tight end room that you have, I think you're just throwing the team kind of. Like you
don't even know how my tight end room could end up.
No, like I already know.
2 rookies and Irv Smith.
So
if
here's what you got to
Cowboy,
do. How many fantasy points does your team have right now, tight ends, as of today?
My team or tight ends?
Yeah, the team that you just drafted. How many fantasy points does the tight ends have?
I don't fucking know. I guess 0.
Correct.
Well, Irv Smith has some.
That's how many
Irv
they're
Smith
probably
has
going to
players.
have at the end of the year as well.
Okay. Nice. Great. All right. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you all for showing up, drafting with us. Thank you for watching.
Put us on the big screen.
Good idea. Good idea.
Make
So
us
you can
large.
see our beautiful faces, see our flexed out traps. Show them sexy. If only you guys knew how hard we were flexing right now.
I'm not even trying.
I'm not flexing
In the slightest. All right. Well, this has been great. This has been an Underdog Superflex draft. If you don't know, get on Underdog. Use promo code DIMES, 100% deposit match bonus. Again, this is a tool that is going to sharpen yourself for your drafts. All right. Me personally, big baseball fan. I was doing baseball drafts all off season, and I absolutely dominated my home league. I'm in first place by a mile. I'm already counting the cash that I'm winning in that league. This is what you can do for football, for basketball, next year, baseball, any sport. They got it all. What are you laughing at?
Larry Q times just keeps commenting Tony is a donation.
Hell yeah.
I agree.
Hell yeah, dude.
Tony's the opposite of a bucket.
I'm a donation.
Oh, that's what he was going with.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony spent a lot of times
Deposting? What?
A lot of times deposting.
I don't know.
Composting, maybe?
Either way,
Don't
join
even
the
know what
Discord if
composting
you
is.
want to get in these drafts. Next time, we'll be live streaming tomorrow.
That's
we'll be
already
live streaming.
updated.
Fuck you,
I
Voch.
updated him an hour ago.
Watch, you piece of shit.
Are they not updated for you? I updated them.
What comment are you looking at?
Can you update your rookie
Voch.
rankings in the draft guide? I did it 2 hours ago before the fucking video went live.
You're a moron, Voch.
Why are you like? What makes me question you is that you hit me with a double question mark. Like if you had used one question mark, I would just assume you haven't checked yet. But the fact that you double question marked it makes me feel as if you looked at it, saw a non-updated version of it, and then hit me with the double Qs.
It's not okay.
So for that reason, I'm going to be taking away your first round rookie pick and go fade me.
Damn. All of them.
I'm an imbecile. You're fucking correct.
At least you know about it. All right. That's all we got for you. Thanks for hanging out. Love you a bunch. See you tomorrow.